it's not easy to maintain the cachet of a fashion brand for nearly 2 decades, especially since fashion is so trend driven. How did you do it?
So I think it's a combination of always having a product that is trend right, but not so trendy that when you look at it, you're just like, oh, really? You still have that bag? Like when I came up, it was the it bag, the Fendi spy bag or the Chloe Paddington, like all these bags that you had to have. And then 3 months later, you're like, damn girl, put that bag away.
Right.
That's ugly. And so I think my bag was classic enough that someone could have it. I mean, I meet women who still have my original bags, and they don't feel outdated. Um, and then I think that it was this connection with the customer that we cultivated. Back then, no one would talk to a customer. We even had interventions with stores and media saying, don't talk to your customer. That's belittling you. You need to be like the perfect designer in the ivory tower. And we were like, well, we can't advertise in Vogue. We don't have any money. Our only venue is stores. D2C was not even a word then. So this is our chance to talk to her and like be with her and get to know her. And so I think that really helped. And then our technology innovation, which we can give all the credit to my brother for the
Yes,
last couple of
Yuri.
years, um, really helped us be in the zeitgeist of where technology was taking fashion and democratizing it.
Right, right. And so through the years, you've had so many exciting and exhilarating activations from a technology perspective, that I've witnessed. Can we walk through that journey a little bit? Boy, I'm thinking back to the first time you put the reflective mirror in a store.
Yeah.
That was like, revolutionary for that moment in time. It's so competitive out there and there's so many brands. And I just feel that fashion's always been very slow from a technology perspective, but your brand has always been a step ahead.
Yeah. So I think in the way that as a designer, I can tell you that your emerald green, linen, beautiful, pantsuit is the color and style of the summer. My brother had that, but with technology. He did technology before he partnered with me. And so I feel like he had this sense of what would always be coming. So whether it was wearables, the same day as Apple, we launched. We didn't know Apple was going to launch that day, but like, thank God we did it the same day. Or we
Yeah.
launched self-checkout the same day that Amazon did. Again, we didn't know that. Our store, that technology and that idea was really powered by him, but talking to women and asking us, what are our pain points when we're shopping? And then let's build in the same way on a website, you optimize for the shopping experience. Let's do it in the store. And so I've hopefully not disappointed him in continuing the torch since his departure from the brand in keeping us, whether it's Web3, NFTs. I think I'm searching for what's next.
Right,
I don't know yet,
right.
if I'm being honest with you, but I think our goal is to always have that be part and parcel to what we do.
I think that's a very earnest statement. Like, many people don't know what's next in their business, but it's a deep desire to have the interest in looking, the curiosity of wanting to figure out what's next that keeps you on the edge. I mean, like you guys have always had something. You were, one of the first to step into the NFT space with your project. And can we talk about that again?
Yeah, we can. I was the first female American fashion designer to do
Wow.
it. I'm joking as I say that because we're always trying to find like a way to say we're first.
Right.
So we're like slicing up all the things. Um, so 2021, September of 21, we launched our first group of NFTs with the dematerialized, and we had, physical twins. In almost 90% of it. And what we didn't anticipate is we didn't even promote the NFTs. They sold out in 9 minutes. Like
Wow.
all that had happened was dematerialized, emailed the list, done. I was like, we don't even get it to put it up an Instagram post, like nothing, not even an email. And so that was really exciting. And then we came back and did another drop with them, but that one was a more fantastical sort of like, well, why bother having anything physical? Like this is our opportunity to play with stuff that you can't do in the real world. So that was also successful and allowed us to test, like we can sell a $3,000 NFT and a $150 NFT. And then we did another collaboration with Mavion.
Right.
where we really tried to gamify the experience. So it acts as a token for experiences. And then if you matched two, you would get a bag. So that was, that was last summer. So I think we're just trying to keep it interesting. And obviously it's, that area has taken some hits.
Has it?
So
Lots of changes.
it's so many changes. So now I view these things as, again, are they loyalty tokens that hopefully get you access in places? And so as I'm thinking of what we're doing in the arena, it's always going to have a ton of utility. It's not so much about the art. It's really about what can you give to someone that money can't buy?
Right, right. That's exciting. That's exciting. You have such a great social media following and presence and so forth. What is that like for your business? It's a little laborious having to stay abreast of all of that and keep things going, but it's such a great point of contact for your consumers.
I think it's the place where, she probably is not going to go to Google anymore. She's going to Instagram to discover. And so for us, it's a place to sort of say, what is this brand about if I'm not going to be in her physical stores or I'm not going to be around her? And so you see me, and it's important. I'm there as a connection point to the customer. And then you also see the brand and the models and the product. And so we try and sort of balance those two because our customer is 18, but she's also 42.
Right.
So we're trying to stretch that girl out from the 18-year-old buying her first bag, the 21-year-old's buying her going out bag. I no longer go out unless I'm forced to. So I'm buying the tote. And so I think that's where you see that world of ours.
Right. So, it's so, the folks that we have on the show are great entrepreneurs and thought leaders, yourself included. And it takes so much to run a successful business. And I think our listeners are tuning in to really glean from the folks that we have on the show some insights. And so you've had such a great run. What advice do you have for someone running a business, an empire as you are?
It is not going to happen overnight. And you better work. I know Kim Kardashian got in trouble for saying, work hard.
Right.
You have to work hard.
Right.
It is not easy. And it's often more failure than success. And so whatever it is you do, you have to love it so much that every day that you get up and it sucks, if I can swear.
Yeah.
You're still love it. I can see a glimmer. Maybe I don't love it as much today, but I'm going to get up and do that thing. And I think that in our day and age, we have instant gratification with almost everything we do, from our car services, to getting what we want overnight or same day delivery. And then you just think, oh, I'm going to just do this and it's going to be easy and I'm going to be rich tomorrow and successful or whatever that means to you. No, there are no shortcuts. It is hard and it is long. And if you want a brand, part of that is established through longevity. And so you see these things that hit and flame out, and they didn't establish or figure out how to have that longevity that becomes that lasting thing in someone's mind. Yeah. And my CEO was pointing out to me, Kate Spade didn't become huge or have that hockey stick until the brand was 25 years old.
Wow.
Which I didn't know. And she goes, we're still young. We're still 18. And I was like, okay, girl, let me buckle up and get back in for another 7 years.
I've been at this for a while.
So that just made me go, wow, longevity and brands take time to build. And you can't shortcut that. You can shortcut a lot of things, but you can't shortcut that.
Prudent advice, prudent advice. So you've taken your time in this business and, what I love is how you've expanded into other areas and pivoted in different ways. You now have a podcast. How has that experience been for you? And what inspired you to even start podcasting?
So I launched the podcast in the same time period I launched Female Founder Collective because I was doing a mentor program within my company and having these women in to have my employees here and then having them in my stores to have customers come in and get a different experience. And I was like, okay, this is great, but I can reach tens of thousands of women if I just go online. So that was when I launched it. And to me, the women I interview, I'd say 50% are women you've heard of and you think they have it all figured out and you think they never failed And to hear that they failed and they struggled and like what got them out of that, I think for me is incredibly rewarding. And then half the women you've never heard of. And I
Yeah.
hope that now you discovered, the first Black owned winery in the United States and how these two sisters that grew up not knowing each other met. And maybe you go support that business, or the story of a woman who overcame drug addiction and being orphaned to being one of the most successful financial analysts and like futurists, to help you manage your money as a woman. So I think um, hearing the stories of failure and struggle is like, you're not alone. It's all hard for everybody. And here's a tip or trick of how she did it.
Amazing.